You know, in the stock market, there's a journey that pretty much every trader goes on. And for most, it's an incredibly expensive one. It's the journey from being a gambler, someone who just bets on feelings, to becoming a scientist, someone who operates on cold, hard facts. So let's break down how that transformation actually happens.
And it all starts with this one phrase. Lagta hai. It feels like. I'm telling you, these two words have probably wiped out more trading accounts than any market crash in history. It's the foundation of a strategy built entirely on emotion, and we're about to see exactly why that's so dangerous.
To really see this in action, let's follow a trader. We'll call him Rahul. And his story begins at a very specific time, 9:14 a.m. This is, without a doubt, one of the most dangerous minutes of the day for a retail trader.
Just imagine the chaos Rahul is dealing with here. The TV is on, news tickers are flashing, experts are screaming about the hot banking sector. A WhatsApp message pops up from his cousin about some operator. You know, those mythical big players who are supposedly moving the market. All this noise creates this overwhelming feeling of urgency, this sense that the market phatne wala hai, the market's about to explode.
And right here, this is the crucial point. In the middle of all this chaos, Rahul isn't looking at a single chart or a piece of data. Nope, he's just absorbing all the noise, and he's about to make a trade based on pure, unfiltered vibes. He is literally walking right into a trap.
So what happens when you trade on vibes? Well, you walk straight into the Lagta hai trap. Let's watch exactly how this plays out for Rahul, minute by agonizing minute.
And boom, he pulls the trigger, clicks buy. For the first 3 minutes, he feels like a king. The trade is in profit, he's basically a genius, already planning how he's going to spend the money. But then, at minute 4, a giant red candle appears out of nowhere. The market turns on him hard. By minute 5, that feeling of being a genius is gone, replaced by pure gut-wrenching panic. He slams the sell button and locks in a massive loss.
Now, this wasn't just bad luck. This is actually predictable human psychology. It's explained by something called prospect theory. It's the mental trap that makes us hold on to our losing trades just praying they'll come back, while we sell our winning trades way too soon because we're terrified of losing the small profit we have. It is a classic emotional trap.
So what's Rahul's reaction to all this? Does he look at what he did wrong? Of course not. He blames some invisible enemy. The market is rigged. The operator was hunting for my stop loss. See, this is the gambler's fallacy. When you lose, it's never your fault. The system is broken, not your method. But this painful loss leads to a huge turning point. A mentor figure, let's call him a Quant Guru, shows up and presents Rahul with a fundamental choice, the conflict that's really at the heart of all trading: feelings versus math.
And the guru lays it out perfectly. On one side, you have the discretionary trader. That's Rahul. He's driven by feelings, tips, and gut instincts. And what's the result? It's just gambling. On the other side, you've got the systematic trader, driven by rules, data, and math. The result there isn't a gamble, it's a process. It's repeatable.
And listen, this isn't just some theory. There's hard data to back it up. A study looked at traders over a 5-year period and found that the discretionary traders, the gut feel guys, they basically made zero. Nothing. Meanwhile, the systematic traders, the ones using rules, averaged a positive 7% return, year after year. The numbers really don't lie.
And here's the core lesson from the guru. It's so simple, but it is so powerful. If you cannot define your rule mathematically, you are just gambling. That's it. That's the line in the sand that separates actual skill from pure luck and strategy from just hope.
Okay, so if gambling is the problem, what's the solution? Well, the guru tells Rahul he needs to stop acting like a gambler and start thinking like a scientist. He needs to bring the scientific method into his trading.
And trust me, it's not as complicated as it sounds. It's really just 3 simple steps. First, you create a hypothesis, a clear, testable idea, not a feeling. Something like, if the price crosses this moving average, it might go up. Second, you test it. You run that idea against years of old data to see if it actually worked. Did it make money in 2008? What about 2020? And you do all this without risking a single rupee. Finally, you have your conclusion. If the data shows it works, great. It becomes a rule in your system. And if it doesn't, you throw it away, no matter how much you love the idea.
So what's the whole point of this? The scientific method removes the single most dangerous variable in your trading: you. Your fear, your greed, your ego, they all get pushed to the side. All that's left is a set of rules that you've already proven. You just have to execute the plan.
Now, as Rahul is hearing all of this, he's starting to get it, but he's also a little skeptical. And he has a question that I'm guessing a lot of you are probably thinking right now. He asked the guru, look, I failed math in school. Is this going to be too difficult for me?
And that's a real fear, right? The word quant sounds intimidating. It makes you think of complex algorithms and crazy calculus. But the guru's response is just brilliant in its simplicity. He asks, can you follow a red light and a green light? That's all this is. If your system says buy, that's a green light. You go. If it says sell, that's a red light. You stop. The point isn't to be a math genius, it's to have the discipline to follow simple signals.
And that right there brings us to the final and, honestly, the most important takeaway. The journey from gambler to scientist, it isn't really about mastering math. The real challenge is mastering yourself. So the question I want to leave you with is this. When the market is crashing and every single instinct in your body is screaming at you to panic and sell, can you ignore that voice and just trust the system you built? That is the real test.